The stars disappeared first. Captain Do-hyun noticed it from his station on the orbital defense platform. He had been watching the night sky for 15 years, and he knew when something was wrong. The constellation he tracked every night was gone, replaced by darkness. "Sir, we have multiple contacts," his radar operator said. The young woman's voice shook slightly. "They're big." Really big. Do-hyun moved to the main display. His stomach dropped. Hundreds of massive ships filled the space above Earth. They were black as midnight, shaped like curved blades. Each one was larger than any city on the planet below. "Sound the alarm," Do-hyun said quietly. "Get me a line to Earth Command." The alien ships just waited. They hung in space like vultures circling prey. For 2 hours nothing happened. Then every communication device on Earth received the same message. It came in every language, spoken in a cold, emotionless voice. "You will surrender. You will serve. Resistance means death. You have 1 hour." Do-hyun gripped the edge of his console. Around him, his crew looked terrified. They were soldiers trained for combat, but this was different. Everyone knew humanity's weapons were nothing compared to what they faced. "Sir, Earth Command is responding," his communications officer said. "They're refusing to surrender." "Good," Do-hyun said. But inside, he felt only fear. Far below, in a deep excavation site beneath the Korean peninsula, Dr. Hana was working late. She didn't hear the alarm at first. Her team had been digging for 3 months, and they had finally found something incredible. Ancient ruins that shouldn't exist. "Doctor, you need to see this," her assistant called. The young man stood at the entrance to a newly opened chamber. His flashlight beam disappeared into darkness. Hana climbed down the ladder. The chamber was enormous, carved from solid rock. The walls were covered in strange symbols that glowed faintly blue. She had seen ancient writing before, but this was different. This predated everything humans had ever built. "What is it?" her assistant whispered. "I don't know," Hana admitted. "But those symbols—" "They're not human." That's when the ground shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Hana heard distant explosions muffled by meters of rock and earth. "What's happening?" her assistant asked. Hana pulled out her phone. No signal. She tried the radio. Static. Then slowly a voice broke through. "This is Earth Defense. Under attack. Alien ships." All stations report, and the message cut off. Hana and her assistant looked at each other in the dim blue light of the ancient symbols. Above them, the invasion began. The alien ships deployed smaller craft that entered Earth's atmosphere like falling stars. They swept over cities, firing beams of purple light. Buildings exploded. Tanks and jets fired back, but their weapons bounced off invisible shields around the alien ships. Yeji sat in her communication station in Seoul, trying to coordinate the defense. She was 23 years old and had been in the military for only 2 years. Her screen showed disaster after disaster. Tokyo was burning. New York was under siege. Moscow had gone dark. "All units fall back to the shelters," she transmitted. Her voice was steady even though her hands shook. "Repeat. Fall back to civilian shelters." An alien ship appeared over Seoul. It was smaller than the ones in orbit, but still massive. It hovered over the city center and deployed a strange device. The device activated, and the air itself seemed to change. People on the streets fell to their knees, gasping for breath. "They're changing our atmosphere," someone shouted in Yeji's command center. "The air. They're making it toxic for humans." Yeji switched channels, trying to reach anyone who could help. That's when she heard it, a strange signal coming from somewhere beneath the city. It wasn't human technology. The signal pulsed in a rhythm that felt almost alive. Deep in the ruins, Dr. Hana felt it too. The blue symbols on the walls grew brighter. The ground trembled, but this time it wasn't from explosions. "Something was waking up. We need to leave," her assistant said. "Now!" But Hana couldn't move. She was staring at the center of the chamber. A massive crystalline structure was rising from the floor. It had been hidden beneath the stone, waiting. The crystal was clear as glass, but filled with swirling light. "What have we found?" Hana whispered. The crystal pulsed. A beam of light shot from its surface and struck Hana in the chest. She gasped but felt no pain. Instead, images flooded her mind. She saw Earth from space, but it was different, younger. She saw massive ships, not like the alien ones attacking now, but older, more advanced. She saw beings of pure energy building something on Earth. Building the ruins. Building the crystal. Then she heard a voice in her mind. It was ancient and powerful. "The compact has been broken. I am Sentinel Prime. I was made to protect this world. Hana fell to her knees. Her assistant grabbed her shoulders, but she waved him away. There's something here, she said. Something that's been sleeping. And it's waking up. In orbit, Captain Do-hyun watched his defense platform die. Half his crew was already gone. The alien ships had targeted the platform with focused fire. His shields were failing. Abandon ship, he ordered. All hands to the escape pods. Sir, you need to go too, his second officer said. Do-hyun shook his head. Someone needs to buy time. Get everyone out. He was preparing to overload the platform's reactor when something strange appeared on his sensors. Energy readings were spiking all across Earth, not from the alien weapons. From the ground itself. What is that? He muttered. On the planet below, in 100 different locations, ancient structures were beginning to activate. In Egypt, buried temples came to life. In South America, hidden pyramids glowed with power. In Antarctica, ice cracked as something enormous stirred beneath it. And in Korea, in a deep chamber, Dr. Hana stood before a crystal that held the consciousness of something older than human civilization. Can you help us? She asked the voice in her mind. I can protect, Sentinel Prime responded, but only if you choose. Humanity must consent. Do you wish to be defended? Hana thought of the cities burning above, the millions dying, the children who would never grow up. She thought of everything humanity had built, everything they could become. Yes, she said. Please help us. The crystal exploded with light. The beam shot upward through rock and earth into the sky. It reached into orbit where Captain Do-hyun watched in amazement as a shield of pure energy surrounded his dying platform. All across Earth, the ancient guardian was waking up. And the aliens who thought they were conquering a primitive world were about to learn a terrible truth. They had awakened something that should have stayed asleep. The light from the crystal surrounded Dr. Hana like warm water. She couldn't move, couldn't speak, but she could see. Images filled her vision, showing her things that happened millions of years ago. She saw Earth when it was young. The continents looked different. The oceans were strange colors. And ships came from the stars. Not the black blade ships that attacked now. These were beautiful, made of light and metal that seemed alive. The beings inside these ships were called the architects. They didn't have bodies like humans. They were pure energy, shaped into forms that could touch the physical world. They moved across the galaxy, finding empty planets and planting the seeds of life. We were gardeners, Sentinel Prime's voice said in her mind. We grew life throughout the stars. Earth was chosen as a special garden. Here intelligence would grow naturally without our interference. Hana watched as the architects built the structures she had been excavating. They weren't buildings. They were guardians left behind to watch over the young life on Earth. The crystal chamber was just one of many scattered across the planet. Why? Hana managed to ask. Why protect us? Because true life must be free, Sentinel Prime answered. The architects believed that forced evolution was wrong. Species must grow naturally, make their own choices, find their own path. We Guardians were left to make sure nothing disturbed that process. The images changed. Hana saw a warning beacon placed in orbit around Earth. It pulsed with a message that traveled faster than light, reaching every corner of the galaxy. The message was simple but absolute. This world is protected, by order of the architects. Do not interfere. Do not invade. The penalty is total destruction. For millions of years, every intelligent species in the galaxy obeyed. They saw the warning and stayed away. They feared the architects and their impossible technology. But then the architects disappeared. The images showed it happening. A darkness came from between galaxies, something that consumed stars and destroyed worlds. The architects went to fight it. They never returned. Slowly, over thousands of years, their warning beacons failed. Their protection faded. The galaxy forgot about the architects and their gardens. The aliens attacking Earth now were called the Vexril. They were conquerors who had destroyed 47 civilizations. They saw the dead beacon around Earth and thought it was safe to attack. They thought the architects were gone forever. They were wrong. I remained, Sentinel Prime said. I waited. I watched humanity grow from primitive creatures to builders of cities and ships. I was proud. But I could not help you grow. That was forbidden. I could only wake if you were threatened by outside forces. The light faded. Hana found herself back in the chamber, breathing hard. Her assistant was holding her up, looking terrified. Doctor, what happened? You were glowing. Hana grabbed his arm. We need to get a message out. To everyone. The military, the government, everyone. The communications are down, her assistant said. The aliens are jamming everything. Not everything, Hana said. She looked at the crystal. Sentinel Prime, can you help us communicate? The crystal pulsed. Suddenly, Hana's phone activated, but it wasn't showing her normal apps. The screen displayed a network that stretched across the entire planet. She could see every ancient site, every hidden guardian station. They were all connected, all waking up. I can reach your military leaders, Sentinel Prime said. But Hana, you must understand. I am powerful, but I am old. My systems have slept for millions of years. To fully activate, I need human cooperation. I need permission. You have it, Hana said immediately. Not just yours, the Guardian replied. I need humanity to choose. This is not a decision one person can make. Far above, Captain Do-hyun was trying to understand what was happening. The energy shield around his platform had stopped the alien attack completely. The purple beams from the Vexral ships just bounced off the shield like light off a mirror. His communication system crackled to life. A woman's voice came through clear despite all the jamming. This is Dr. Hana. I am transmitting from beneath Seoul. I have made contact with an ancient defense system. It's been protecting Earth since before humans existed. It can help us fight back, but it needs permission from humanity's leaders. Do-hyun stared at his screen. This is Captain Do-hyun, Orbital Defense. Doctor, what are you talking about? I know it sounds crazy, Hana said. But look at your platform. That shield isn't human technology, is it? Do-hyun looked at the energy readings. She was right. The shield was far beyond anything Earth could build. What does this defense system need? He asked. It needs us to choose, Hana said. It was programmed to respect free will. It can't just take over our defense. We have to ask it to help us. On the planet below, in a military bunker outside Seoul, Yeji was listening to the same transmission. Around her, generals and politicians argued. Some thought it was a trick. Others thought Hana was crazy. But Yeji had heard the strange signal before the transmission. She had felt something wake up beneath the earth. I believe her, Yeji said. She was the lowest-ranking person in the room. But she spoke anyway. I've been monitoring strange energy readings all day. They're coming from ancient sites all over the world. Something is definitely activating. A general turned to her. Even if this is real, how do we know this thing will help us? How do we know it won't enslave us like the aliens want to? It was a good question. Hana, listening through the network Sentinel Prime provided, decided to answer it directly. You don't, she said honestly. But I've seen what this Guardian showed me. The beings who made it believed in freedom above everything else. They could have controlled humanity's evolution, made us into perfect servants. Instead, they left us alone to grow naturally. That tells me something about their values. And we're losing, another general added. Half our major cities are gone. The atmosphere processors the aliens deployed are killing millions. If we don't do something now, humanity will be extinct by tomorrow. The room fell silent. Everyone knew he was right. Through the windows of the bunker, they could see purple beams cutting across the sky. Seoul was dying. The senior general, a man named Taijin, made the decision. Dr. Hana, tell your guardian we accept its help. Tell it humanity chooses to be defended. In the crystal chamber, Sentinel Prime pulsed brightly. The choice is made. The ancient voice said, Now I will show these invaders why the architects were feared. I will show them what happens when you attack a protected world. The crystal began to change. It grew brighter and brighter until Hana had to look away. Energy poured from it, flowing through ancient channels carved into the bedrock millions of years ago. The energy spread across the planet, reaching every guardian station, every hidden structure. In Egypt, the Great Pyramid began to glow. In South America, massive platforms rose from the jungle. In Antarctica, ice shattered as weapons older than dinosaurs came online. Captain Do-hyun watched from orbit as Earth transformed. Beams of light connected the ancient sites. A network of pure energy surrounded the entire planet. What is that? His sensor officer whispered. That, Do-hyun said quietly, is humanity's ancient guardian, and it's angry. The Vexral fleet, which had been celebrating their easy victory, suddenly found themselves facing something they had never seen before, something older and far more dangerous than the primitive humans they were attacking. The battle was about to change completely. Captain Do-hyun's ship, the Taeguk, launched from the ancient platform that had risen near Seoul. The platform had transformed into a massive space elevator. capable of launching hundreds of ships at once. Around him, 20 human vessels prepared for the attack. They were all that remained of Earth's orbital defense fleet. "All ships, this is Do-hyun," he transmitted. "Our mission is simple. Get to that flagship and destroy the planet killer before it fires. The Guardian will protect us as much as it can, but expect heavy resistance." His crew was quiet. They all knew this was likely a one-way mission. But nobody complained. Earth's survival depended on them. Yeji sat in the command center in Seoul, but she wasn't really there anymore. Her consciousness was spread across the entire battle network. She could feel the human ships as they launched. She could sense Sentinel Prime's energy flowing into their shields. She could even detect the Vexreal fleet preparing to intercept them. The pain was incredible. Her brain wasn't meant to process so much information. Blood dripped from her nose, but she ignored it. She had a job to do. "Captain Do-hyun," she transmitted, her voice echoing directly in his helmet. "I can see the enemy formations. I'm sending you the safest route through their fleet." Data appeared on Do-hyun's display, a path through the alien ships constantly updating as the Vexreal moved. It was like having a guardian angel who could see the future. "Thank you, Yeji," Do-hyun said. "All ships follow the marked route. Stay tight and trust the guidance." The human fleet accelerated. They moved faster than their ships should have been able to go. Sentinel Prime was enhancing their engines, pushing them beyond their normal limits. Within minutes, they entered the Vexreal formation. The aliens opened fire immediately. Purple beams filled space. But the enhanced shields held. The ancient technology protecting the human ships made them nearly invincible. Weapons that could destroy cities barely scratched their armor. "Return fire," Do-hyun ordered. The human weapons had been enhanced too. Their missiles moved faster, hit harder. Their energy cannons drew power directly from Sentinel Prime's network. A human destroyer fired at a Vexreal cruiser. The beam punched through the alien shields like they weren't there, cutting the ship in half. "Did we just do that?" Do-hyun's weapons officer asked in amazement. "Keep firing," Do-hyun said. "We're not here to fight the fleet. We're here for the flagship." On Thresh's command ship, alarms blared. The Vexreal overlord watched in disbelief as human ships tore through his fleet. These primitive vessels that should have been easy to destroy were suddenly unstoppable. "How is this possible?" he roared. "My lord, they're being enhanced by the planetary defense system," Kess reported. "The ancient technology is making them stronger." "Then we fire the planet killer now," Thresh decided. "Forget about waiting for optimal charge. Kill this world before they reach us." "But my lord, the weapon is only at 60% charge. At that power level, it might not—" "Fire it!" Thresh screamed. Deep in the flagship, the planet-killing weapon activated. It drew power from a captured star that the Vexreal carried in a containment field. Energy built up. More energy than most civilizations used in a year. The weapon's barrel extended from the ship, pointing directly at Earth. Yeji felt it happening. Through her connection to Sentinel Prime, she sensed the massive energy buildup. "They're firing!" she screamed. "The planet killer is activating." On Earth, people looked up at the sky. They didn't know what was happening, but they felt something. A pressure in the air. A sense of doom. Sentinel Prime made a decision. It pulled energy from every defensive system, from every weapon platform, from every shield over the cities. All that power flowed back to Earth's core, to the ancient generators buried there since the planet was young. "I can block one shot," Sentinel Prime announced. "But only one. You must destroy that ship before they can fire again." The planet killer fired. A beam of white-hot energy powered by a star shot toward Earth. It moved at the speed of light. There was no dodging it, no running from it. The beam would hit Earth in seconds. Sentinel Prime raised a shield, not around cities or platforms, but around the entire planet. Every bit of power the Guardian possessed went into that shield. The ancient technology, millions of years old, faced the most powerful weapon the modern galaxy had created. The beam hit the shield. For a moment, Earth was surrounded by light brighter than the sun. The beam pushed against the shield, trying to break through. Sentinel Prime held firm, but the strain was enormous. On Earth, people felt the ground shake. The oceans boiled. Mountains cracked. The shield was holding, but barely. If the weapon fired again, the planet would die. "Captain, you have to hurry," Yeji gasped. Blood poured from her nose now and her eyes. Maintaining the link was killing her. "The Guardian can't take another shot. You have to destroy that ship now." Do-hyun pushed his ship harder. The Taguk was barely holding together. Half his crew was injured. But they were close now. The flagship was right ahead, surrounded by smaller escort ships. All vessels target the escorts, Doyun ordered. Clear me a path. The human fleet opened fire. Enhanced weapons destroyed the escort ships one by one. But there were too many, and the human ships were taking damage. One destroyer exploded, then another. The fleet that started with 20 ships was down to 12. Sir, we can't get through, Dohyun's pilot said. There are too many of them. Dohyun looked at his screens. The pilot was right. They were stuck, and every second they waited, Earth got closer to death. Then Yeji's voice came through, weak but determined. Captain, I'm redirecting all remaining Guardian power to your ship. Just yours. You'll have shields strong enough to ram through the escorts, but the rest of the fleet will be unprotected. Yeji, no, Dohyun said. They'll be destroyed. They know, Yeji said. I'm connected to all of them. They're volunteering. Someone has to get through. It has to be you. Dohyun looked around his bridge. His crew nodded. They understood. The other captains transmitted their agreement. They would sacrifice themselves to give Dohyun a chance. It's been an honor, one captain transmitted. Make it count, another said. Sentinel Prime's power flowed into the Taeguk. The ship's shields became a wall of pure energy. Dohyun aimed his ship directly at the flagship. All power to engines, he ordered. We're going through. The Taeguk accelerated. The enhanced shields smashed through the escort ships like they were made of paper. Behind them, the rest of the human fleet fought desperately, drawing fire away from Dohyun's ship. One by one, they fell. Brave crews dying so one ship could reach the target. The Taeguk broke through. They were past the escorts, heading straight for the flagship's hull. Dohyun could see the planet-killer weapon, still glowing from its first shot. It was charging up again, preparing to end Earth. Arm all weapons, Dohyun said calmly. Target the weapon's power core. Everything we have. One shot. His weapons officer entered the targeting data. Every missile, every cannon, every last bit of power the ship possessed. Thresh saw the human ship approaching. He couldn't believe one had made it through. Stop them! He screamed at his crew. Stop that ship! The flagship's weapons fired at the Taeguk. The shields held, but they were failing. Dohyun watched his shield strength dropping. 90%, 80, 70, fire! Dohyun shouted. The Taeguk unleashed everything. Missiles and energy beams struck the planet killer's core. For a second, nothing happened. Then the core exploded. The explosion tore through the flagship from the inside. The captured star that powered the weapon was suddenly released from its containment field. Energy equivalent to a supernova erupted inside the ship. Evacuate, Dohyun ordered his crew. Get to the escape pods, now! His crew ran for the pods, but Dohyun knew they wouldn't make it. The flagship was exploding and they were too close. The shockwave would destroy them. He thought about Earth, about the billions of people who would live because of what they did here. He thought about Hana in her ancient ruins and Yeji burning her mind to save them all. He thought about humanity, stubborn and brave. It was worth it, he said quietly. The explosion reached the Taeguk. Captain Dohyun and his ship vanished in light. On Earth, Yeji felt him die. She screamed, the connection breaking, but even through the pain she sensed something else. The flagship was gone. The planet killer was destroyed. Earth was safe. Sentinel Prime's voice echoed through her fading consciousness. They succeeded. The weapon is destroyed. Earth survives. Yeji smiled, then collapsed. The link had destroyed her mind, but she had held on long enough to see the mission complete. The ground shook across the entire planet. In cities, in deserts, in frozen wastelands, ancient structures pushed up through the earth. They had been buried for millions of years, waiting. Now they rose like mountains being born. In the Korean peninsula, the ruins where Dr. Hana stood expanded into a massive fortress. Walls of crystal and metal emerged from the rock. The small chamber became a vast complex that stretched for miles underground. Hana stumbled as the floor moved beneath her feet. What's happening? Her assistant shouted over the rumbling. The Guardian is fully waking up, Hana said. She could still feel Sentinel Prime's presence in her mind. It was stronger now, more alert. It's been dormant for so long. Now it's remembering what it was built to do. Across the world, the changes continued. In Egypt, the pyramids weren't just glowing anymore. They were opening, revealing technology that had been hidden inside. Massive cannons emerged from the stone, pointing at the sky. Energy shields formed over Cairo, protecting the surviving population. In the Pacific Ocean, islands that weren't on any map rose from the water. They weren't natural islands. They were defensive platforms, each one the size of a city. Ancient weapon systems activated, their targeting sensors locking onto the Vexral ships in orbit. The aliens noticed. They stopped their attack and pulled back, confused. Their sensors were showing energy readings that shouldn't be possible. Earth, which had seemed so weak and primitive, was suddenly armed with technology that made their own weapons look like toys. Overlord Thresh commanded the Vexral fleet from his massive flagship. He was 3 meters tall, covered in armored scales with 4 arms and eyes that could see in spectrums humans couldn't imagine. He had conquered 47 worlds. He had never failed. "What is this?" he demanded, staring at the displays. "Where did these weapons come from?" His chief scientist, a smaller Vexral named Kess, studied the readings. "My lord, these energy signatures are ancient." "Very ancient. This technology is older than our empire by millions of years." "Impossible," Thresh said. "The humans are primitive. They barely have space travel." "The technology isn't human," Kess said nervously. "My lord, I think we should retreat. These readings match legends about the architects." Thresh struck Kess, sending the smaller alien flying across the command deck. "The architects are extinct. Their empire fell long ago. I will not run from ghosts and primitive humans." But even as Thresh spoke, Earth's defenses activated. The ancient weapons fired. Captain Do-hyun watched from his platform as beams of pure white energy shot from the planet's surface. They moved faster than anything he had ever seen. They struck the nearest Vexral ships, and those ships simply vanished. Not exploded, not destroyed. They just ceased to exist. "Did you see that?" His weapons officer gasped. "What kind of weapon does that?" "I don't know," Do-hyun said. "But I'm glad it's on our side." The Vexral fleet scattered, trying to avoid the beams. But the ancient targeting systems were perfect. They had been designed by beings who understood the laws of physics better than any current civilization. The beams curved through space, following the fleeing ships, finding them no matter how fast they ran. In minutes, a quarter of the Vexral fleet was gone. Thresh roared in anger. "Return fire! Destroy those weapon platforms!" The Vexral ships unleashed everything they had. Purple beams, gravity bombs, matter disruptors. The weapons that had destroyed cities hit the ancient platforms and bounced off harmlessly. The shields protecting the platforms were stronger than anything in the current galaxy. The architects had built them to last forever, to protect against any threat. The Vexral weapons were powerful, but they were nothing compared to what the Guardians had been designed to withstand. In Seoul, Yeji watched the battle on her screens. The ancient defense network had connected to Earth's military systems. She could see everything now. The orbital battle, the energy shields over cities, the weapons platforms rising from the ocean. "We're winning," someone in the command center said, amazed. But Yeji felt uneasy. Something was wrong. She could feel it. The victory was too easy. "Sir," she said to General Tajin, "the aliens are pulling back, but they're not retreating. They're regrouping." Tajin frowned. "What do you think they're planning?" Before Yeji could answer, Sentinel Prime's voice echoed through the command center. Everyone jumped. The ancient Guardian could speak directly through their communication systems now. "The enemy commander is proud," Sentinel Prime said. "He will not accept defeat. He will escalate. I detect a massive energy buildup on the largest ship. They are preparing something dangerous." Deep in the ruins, Hana felt a chill run through her. "What kind of weapon?" "A planet destroyer," Sentinel Prime answered. "I have seen such weapons before. If they activate it, Earth will break apart." The command center erupted in panic. A planet-destroying weapon. If the Vexral couldn't conquer Earth, they would destroy it completely. "Can you stop it?" Tajin demanded. "My shields can protect against normal weapons," Sentinel Prime said. "But a planet destroyer draws power from a star. It is too powerful. If they fire it, Earth will die." "Then we have to destroy that ship before they can fire," Do-hyun said over the communication network. "We have to attack now." "Your ships cannot reach it," Sentinel Prime said. "The flagship is too heavily defended, and I cannot leave Earth unprotected to attack. If I drop the shields, the other Vexral ships will resume their assault on your cities." Hana felt the Guardian's frustration. It was powerful, but it couldn't be everywhere at once. It had to choose between defending the planet or stopping the planet killer. "What if we combine forces?" Yeji said suddenly. Everyone looked at her. "The Guardian protects the planet. Our military attacks the flagship. Together we might have a chance. The human ships will be destroyed, Sentinel Prime said. The flagship's defenses are too strong. Not if you help us, Do-Yun said. He understood what Yeji was suggesting. You said you need human cooperation. What if we cooperate on offense too? Can you enhance our ships the way you enhanced my platform's shields? There was a pause. Sentinel Prime was thinking, calculating possibilities. It is possible, the Guardian finally said. I can extend my power to your vessels. Your shields will be strengthened. Your weapons will be enhanced. But it will take much of my energy. The shields over your cities will weaken. Do it, General Tajin said. We evacuate the cities to underground shelters. The Guardian protects those who can't fight. Our military goes after that flagship. You will likely die, Sentinel Prime warned. We're already dying, Do-Hyun said. At least this way we die fighting. Across Earth the decision was made. Civilians fled to underground bunkers protected by the ancient Guardian's shields. The military prepared for a desperate attack. Human ships, enhanced by technology millions of years old, would charge directly at the most powerful warship in the Vexril fleet. Yeji felt something strange happening to her. Sentinel Prime was reaching out, connecting to her mind more deeply than before. She realized why. Her brain was different from most humans. She could interface with the Guardian systems naturally. You will be my link, Sentinel Prime said to her. Through you I can coordinate the attack. But it will hurt you. Your mind was not designed for this. Yeji thought about all the people who had died, the cities burning, the children who would never grow up. She thought about what kind of world she wanted to live in. I'll do it, she said. The connection formed. Yeji gasped as ancient information flooded her brain. She could suddenly see everything. Every ship, every weapon, every soldier preparing to fight. She became the bridge between human determination and ancient power. The counterattack was about to begin. And Overlord Thresh, sitting in his flagship preparing to destroy Earth, had no idea what was coming for him. 3 months after the battle, Dr. Hana stood at the memorial site in Seoul. The monument was simple, just a wall with names carved into black stone. Captain Do-Yun's name was at the top, followed by hundreds of others. All the brave souls who died defending Earth. The world was different now. The ancient ruins had become part of everyday life. The crystal structure in Korea still glowed with Sentinel Prime's presence. Similar structures around the world connected humanity to technology they were only beginning to understand. You would have liked the new Earth, Hana said quietly to Do-Hyun's name. It's strange but beautiful. The cities that survived were rebuilding, but they weren't just replacing what was lost. They were building better, using the knowledge Sentinel Prime shared, buildings that could heal themselves. Energy systems that pulled power from the planet's magnetic field. Medicine that could cure diseases that once killed millions. But the gifts came with responsibility. That's what Hana spent most of her time working on now. She was the primary liaison between humanity and the Guardian. She helped people understand what they were being given and what it meant. Dr. Hana, a voice called. She turned to see General Tajin approaching. He looked older now, tired. The invasion had aged everyone who survived it. General, Hana said, I wasn't expecting you. I came to pay respects, Tajin said, looking at the memorial. And to tell you something, the Covenant Council has been established. Representatives from every nation. We're ready to begin. The Covenant Council. It was Sentinel Prime's condition for sharing technology. Humanity had to unite, had to prove they could work together. No more wars among themselves. No more fighting over resources while the galaxy waited beyond. That's good news, Hana said. Sentinel Prime will be pleased. There's more, Tajin said. We've received signals from space. Other civilizations have heard about Earth, about how we defeated the Vexril. Some want to trade. Some want alliances. And some, he paused. Some are afraid of us now, Hana understood. Humanity had gone from primitive to powerful in a single day. That scared people. It scared her too sometimes. We need to be careful, she said. We have this power now, but we're still learning how to use it. We can't let it make us arrogant. That's why the Council wants you to lead the first diplomatic mission, Tajin said. You understand the Guardian's technology. You speak for Sentinel Prime. Who better to represent Earth to the galaxy? Before Hana could answer, she felt a familiar presence in her mind. Sentinel Prime was reaching out to her. There is something you should see, the Guardian said. Come to the central chamber. Hana excused herself and headed deeper into the ancient complex. The ruins had expanded so much that you could get lost if you didn't know the way. She found the main chamber where the original crystal had been. It was larger now, more active, and Yeji was there. Hana stopped in surprise. Yeji had been in a coma for 3 months. The doctor said she might never wake up. Her mind had been too damaged by the connection to Sentinel Prime. But now Yeji stood before the crystal, her eyes open. She looked different, though. Her eyes glowed faintly with the same blue light as the ancient symbols. She moved strangely, like she was floating slightly above the ground. "Yeji?" Hana said carefully. "Can you hear me?" Yeji turned. When she spoke, her voice echoed slightly, like two people talking at once. "I am Yeji, but I am also more than Yeji now." Sentinel Prime's presence filled the room. When Yeji formed the deep connection to coordinate the battle, something unexpected happened. Our minds merged partially. She exists both in her body and in my network now. Is she? Hana couldn't finish the question. Was Yeji still human? Yeji smiled. I'm still me, Doctor. I still remember everything about being human. But I can also perceive things humans normally can't. I can sense disturbances in space. I can communicate across vast distances instantly. I exist in 2 places at once. The architects called such beings wardens, Sentinel Prime explained. Bridges between organic life and guardian systems. They are rare, created only in moments of extreme need. Yeji is the first warden Earth has ever produced. What does this mean? Hana asked. It means I can help protect Earth in ways normal humans can't, Yeji said. She walked closer to Hana. The galaxy is dangerous, Doctor. The Vexril were just one threat among thousands. Sentinel Prime can't leave Earth to deal with those threats, but I can. Hana was beginning to understand. You want to go out there? Into space. Humanity needs to expand beyond Earth, Yeji said. Not to conquer, but to protect. The architects left garden worlds scattered across the galaxy. Many of them are defenseless now. The guardians there are failing or have already failed. Without protection, those worlds will be destroyed by empires like the Vexril. So we become the new architects? Hana asked. No, Sentinel Prime said firmly. The architects made a mistake. They tried to control too much to protect too many worlds. When the darkness came from beyond, they were spread too thin. They fell. Then what? Hana asked. Yeji touched the crystal. Images appeared in the air showing distant stars and planets. We protect what we can. We help species that ask for help. But we don't force our protection on anyone. We respect their right to choose just as Sentinel Prime respected ours. It was a good philosophy, Hana thought. But it was also terrifying. Humanity was being asked to become guardians for other worlds when they barely understood how to protect their own. Will we be ready? She asked. No species is ever fully ready, Sentinel Prime said. But you proved something when you defeated the Vexril. You showed courage, sacrifice, and cooperation. Those qualities matter more than technology. The architects had incredible power, but they forgot what it meant to fight for something you love. Humanity remembers. Over the next weeks, Earth's transformation continued. Human ships, enhanced with ancient technology, began exploring nearby star systems. They found 3 garden worlds, all under threat from various hostile civilizations. The Covenant Council decided to help them. Yeji led the first mission. She took a small fleet to a world called Novus, where a young civilization was being attacked by raiders. With Sentinel Prime's guidance and human determination, they drove off the raiders and left behind a guardian system to protect the planet. The grateful aliens asked why humans would risk their lives for strangers. Yeji's answer was simple. Because someone once did it for us. News of Earth's actions spread across the galaxy. Some civilizations praised them. Others feared them. And some, like the surviving Vexril, swore revenge. But Earth was ready now. The guardian systems were active. The population was united. And they had something no other civilization possessed. The memory of what it meant to be helpless and afraid. Hana stood at the memorial again, this time with Yeji beside her. The young woman who had become something more than human looked at Do-hyun's name on the wall. Do you think he would be proud? Yeji asked. Of what we're becoming? I think he would be, Hana said. We're not just survivors anymore. We're protectors. That's worth dying for. They stood in silence, watching the sun set over Seoul. Above them, stars began to appear in the darkening sky. Among those stars were worlds that needed help, civilizations that faced threats they couldn't handle alone. And from Earth, Humanity's ships would fly to meet those threats, not as conquerors, not as overlords, but as guardians who remembered what it meant to be protected and who would pay that gift forward. Sentinel Prime's voice echoed softly through the memorial. The architects are gone. Their great empire has fallen, but their dream survives. In humanity, the dream of protection without domination lives on. You are the new shepherds of the Garden Worlds. It's a big responsibility, Hana said. Yes, Sentinel Prime agreed. But you are not alone. I am here. Other guardians are awakening on other worlds, and humanity has shown that when faced with impossible odds, you do not surrender. You fight. You sacrifice. You win. Yeji looked up at the stars with her glowing eyes. She could see things out there that normal humans couldn't. Threats approaching. Civilizations crying for help. A galaxy full of danger and opportunity. There's so much work to do, she said. Then we better get started, Hana replied. Together, they walked away from the memorial. Behind them, the names of the fallen remained carved in stone, a reminder of the price of freedom. Ahead of them lay a galaxy waiting to see what humanity would become. The aliens had invaded Earth thinking humans were weak and primitive. Instead, they awakened humanity's ancient guardian. But more than that, they awakened humanity itself. They forced humans to become more than they were, to reach higher, to stand together. Now Earth was no longer just another world. It was a guardian world, protected and protecting. The garden had grown strong enough to defend itself and others, and in the ancient ruins beneath the Korean peninsula, Sentinel Prime kept watch. The crystal pulsed with steady light, a heartbeat that would continue for millions of years more. The Guardian had waited 3 million years for its purpose. Now that purpose was fulfilled, Earth was safe. Humanity was growing. And across the galaxy, other garden worlds would soon know that they too were protected. The age of the architects was over. The age of humanity had begun. And somewhere in deep space, fleeing Vexreal ships carried a warning that would spread to every civilization. Do not attack Earth.